Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Tennessee falls to Florida 29-16 last night. And look, one of the worst things about covering Tennessee football on the internet is everybody is pissed off. Everybody is frustrated. Everybody is mad. A lot of people are confused, and I get that. I understand that. That's perfectly fine. You know, we laugh and joke before the games and talk about, hey, don't get married in the fall. I've missed weddings. I've missed birthdays. I've missed all this stuff for Tennessee football. And that's the thing about this community. We're all like-minded, right? We all eat, breathe, and sleep Tennessee football, and that's why after a loss like last night, so many people are upset, so many people are fighting, so many people are yelling at each other, but we all want one thing, and that is for Tennessee football to get back where they belong on top of the SEC. This game last night throws a huge wrench into that, and I get it. It's the internet. People are going to talk trash. People are going to say whatever it is that they want to say, and that's perfectly fine, but the thing that concerns me, Florida is not a very good football team. They're not, and that's what concerns me about Tennessee moving forward, and I get it. Look, Florida came out, did what they were supposed to do. They punched Tennessee in the mouth. They were up 26-7 at the half and really never looked back. So Florida, give credit where credit's due. They took care of their business. They did what they're supposed to do. They're not a good football team, and that concerns me moving forward. But look, we've had a night to sleep on it. We've had a night to kind of calm down, let the emotions settle, and we're going to talk about it. This is the day after Tennessee versus Florida. If you could do me a favor and hit the thumbs up just below the video, that is quick, free, and easy. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, if you're new to the Talkin VAWLS Network, if this is your first time, welcome. We're not experts. We're not insiders. We're not media. We don't pretend to be media. This channel is for the fans, by the fans. I feel like we have the strongest community of Tennessee fans right here on the Talkin VAWLS Network. If you like that, make sure you subscribe. Click that bell for notifications. You're not going to miss out when we go live or when we drop a video. This channel is for the fans, by the fans. You have a voice here. We are doing a fan call-in show tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time. That's where you, the audience, gets to come onto the show, voice your concerns, voice your frustrations. Let's talk about this Tennessee game, but let's get into it. Let's get to my thoughts of what we think. Again, Florida 29-16, and you know, going into this game, we talked a lot about how Tennessee needed to start fast and how the Florida Gators were waiting on something to get excited about. That crowd was looking for a spark. And Tennessee really came out and kind of took that away from them. I thought it was a good start for Tennessee. They struggled a little bit on that first drive. Florida kind of going right down the field, 14 plays for 46 yards. Tennessee could not get off the field on third down. Graham Mertz did a great job, particularly in the first half. I think it's a tale of two halves. And I've not watched the replay yet. Going to go back, rewatch the game. And I'm curious to see how much Florida's game plan really changed from the first half to the second half. But Graham Mertz did a great job extending the pocket, making plays. Tennessee could not get off the field on third down, but nobody hurt. Tennessee bend but don't break. Florida misses the field goal. I think, okay, here's an opportunity. We talked about how Florida didn't need to shoot themselves in the foot and give Tennessee something to take advantage of. They did it right off the bat in the first drive. Had a false start. I think they had maybe a holding call. Had a couple of times where they got behind the sticks, and then they missed a field goal. How does Tennessee respond? How would they settle Joe Milton in? What would the game plan be? We talked it to death all week. Would Tennessee take a shot? Would they try to establish the run? I thought they got Joe settled in nice early. Quick little throw to Jalen Wright. They run the ball a couple of times. You got a third down. Joe hits a nice little touch swing pass that picks up the first down. Then you take your shot. You let Joe take his shot. He hits Squirrel White 41 yards. Next play, 11-yard fade to Ramel Keaton for a touchdown. Tennessee's on top, 7-0. We think, all right, we are going to run the Gators out of the swamp. But then Florida kind of took over, and I get it. There's kind of two sides to this story. Number one, Tennessee was horrible on defense, horrible on third downs, horrible tackling. It was not a good day for this Tim Banks defense. Now, we could argue, were they too conservative? I think they should have gotten more aggressive, tried to bring some pressure, bring some blitzes. Again, not had a chance to get the rewatch in yet because it's so early, right? Such a late game. I will rewatch it today, and we will be breaking it down all week long. We'll do it on Monday morning with Eric Kane. We'll do our Wednesday night show, and you guys are going to be on the show tonight at 7 o'clock. I hope you bring your energy. I hope you're ready to talk about this game. But Tennessee's defense overall just not very good. But it kind of a weird first half. And again, credit where credit's due. Florida came out and controlled the game. They had 4 straight touchdown drives. 4 straight touchdown drives after missing the field goal, and they controlled the clock. I think they had a couple of drives that were 14-play drives that really just never forget getting in a rhythm. Tennessee's offense just wasn't on the field. The missed field goal, 14 plays. Touchdown drive of 4 plays for 75 yards, 14 plays for 82 yards, 3 plays for 9 yards, 7 plays for 55 yards. A lot of time in those drives. 7.5-minute drive, 7-minute, 28-second drive. They ate up the clock, and really, you talk about a game plan. You kept Tennessee's offense off the field, and I think they never really got a chance to get going in the first half. Let's talk about that offense. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Tennessee's offense clearly is not clicking. We talked about it all week. It was a concern for me coming out of the Austin Peay game. Tennessee is not executing. Poor throws by Joe Milton, dropped passes by these wide receivers. They don't seem to be running as fast, and I get it. Everybody's going to immediately blame Joe, and I understand that because that's the easy thing to do. Just blame the quarterback. We talk about it all the time. The backup's the sexiest player on the team. Well, when he's the number one player in the country from the previous recruiting cycle, you can bet that he is the sexiest player on this team. But look, we talked about Joe last night. I'm going to continue to talk about Joe coming up here in just a second. But you got to realize this offense not clicking, not being in sync. We talked about it last night. This offense is also missing Alex Golish as the offensive coordinator, off to USF as the head coach. Is that a factor here? Cooper Mays still not back from injury. Your offensive line really struggled last night. The interception that Joe threw, middle of the offensive line, just got completely obliterated. Not very good play from your offensive line. Cooper Mays is the anchor of that offensive line. How much is he factoring into this offense not clicking, not going as fast? And then something else that's different with this offense, and it's not just execution, because overall, execution-wise, and I get it, stats aren't always everything. I say that, I believe that, but I felt like Joe, as far as throwing the football, accuracy, simple, basic things that a casual football fan watches. Joe 20 of 34, 287, 2 touchdowns, and a really, really bad interception. Whether you want to put that on Joe for trying to throw it or the offensive line, that's up for you. You can debate it and you can argue about it. I don't care. The bottom line is the offensive line got destroyed. The interception goes up. But something is off. And again, I don't think Joe was terrible last night, but something is missing with Joe. Something is missing. Is it leadership? Is it something beyond? Is it getting guys lined up? Is it going quick? Confidence. That was a word that was brought up last night. Does Josh Heupel, does this coaching staff, do they have confidence in Joe Milton? Because the play calling, we questioned it against Virginia. We questioned it against Austin Peay. And now I'm questioning it here against the Gators. It doesn't feel the same. And I get it. Joe Milton is not Hendon Hooker, but something is amiss here. Is it confidence in Joe Milton to go out, run the game plan, and execute the way you want him to execute? Do you not have that confidence that he can do it? Because you had that confidence in Hendon Hooker. Made a video earlier this week, and I said, when is it time for Nico Iamaleava? When? That made a lot of people mad. That made a lot of people upset. The simple video was, what happens if Joe goes down to the swamp and doesn't do what he's supposed to do? When is it time for Nico? Then coming out of the game against Florida, the loss to Florida, everybody in the chat's ready to bench Joe Milton. Everybody in the chat's calling for Nico. We want Nico. It's time for Nico. I got crucified for saying that in the middle of the week. And all I'm asking is when. What is left to play for this season? There's so many other things I could talk about. Again, Tennessee terrible on defense. Tennessee terrible with penalties. And I get it. Some of the officiating was pretty bad, but you had false starts. You had holdings. You got yourself behind the sticks a lot. The crackback block on McAllen Castles was a joke. That was a weak call. There was a roughing the passer on Elijah Herring. 2-score game, right? 2-score game, 7 minutes to go. 4th and 1. 4th and 1. You got Florida in 4th and 1. You've got a shot to get a stop, go score, and try to actually make something down the stretch in this game. 4th and 1. Everybody in the swamp knows it. Everybody watching on TV knows it. They're going hard count. They're not going to snap it. They're not actually going for it. And we got a senior jump off sides. You've got to be more disciplined. I can continue to preach about that. But what happens for Tennessee moving forward? Because I preached it to death all offseason. This Florida game concerned me. You got to go on the road to the swamp. 20 years of losing. Oh, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. Jacob Warren said it doesn't matter. This team doesn't matter. They don't think about it. Well, add another year of a loss at the swamp. So what do you do moving forward when you look at the schedule? And this is when I ask again, when is it time for Nico? You've got UTSA coming up on Saturday. Is that a good chance to break in the kid? You got South Carolina coming up after that, then Texas A&M. Then things get pretty difficult. You got to go on the road to play Alabama, on the road to play Kentucky. What's left? What can you salvage from this season? Now, I know, the answer is, the coach speak answer is, well, this football team is going to go, watch film today. They're going to go back to work on the practice field. And in the words of old Coach Fulmer, they're going to work like heck to get better. You better do it in a hurry, because I think you just put yourself behind the 8 ball if you think you're going to go win the SEC East. You got a lot of work to do, and I know we got a lot of football to play, but what are we playing for? Are we playing for the here and now? Do you have the confidence? Do you believe? We talk about Josh Heupel and he truly believes that Tennessee is going to go out and win every single week. He does. But do the players in that locker room, do the leaders in that locker room believe? Because if you're not going to go out and play for an SEC championship or a national championship, I say you get the future ready. Joe's had his shot. He got benched at Michigan. I know there are reasons for that. He got benched in 2021 because Hendo Cinco was behind him. Is Joe going to get it together? Something that concerned me earlier in the offseason, situational football. Tennessee struggled with situational football yesterday. Look, I got a whole lot more to say, but we're going to wrap this thing up. I want to hear from you guys about everything you saw last night, Tennessee, Florida. This is the day after. Hopefully we've calmed down. We can talk about it. Are you ready for the kid? Are you ready for Nico to get his shot? If so, what changed between a few days ago when I made that video and now? What changed? Why now? Why is it time for Nico Iamaleava? But that is going to do it for this one. Do me a favor, smash that thumbs up on the way out the door. Go check out the official merchandise of the Talkin VAWLS Network. You can go to bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. We appreciate all support. Thank you, as always, to the members of the channel. You guys pay the light bill around here. I appreciate that. If you want to be a part of it, hit the join button down below. You can do it for as little as $1 a month. You want to give a little bit more? That's quicker access, more perks and benefits, but quicker access to the fan call-in show that's going to be going on tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope you guys will join us for that. But that is going to do it for this one. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.